Hi guys, welcome back to the channel again. So in the last class, we discussed about that what is row context, what is filter context, how it is working. If you didn't watch that, please refer to the previous video. And now we understand this part, why relationship is required. Second, we understand that what is the difference between the measure and the column. So the column always stored inside the table, it will occupy the space, whereas the measure is more of a dynamic thing, right? So it is not storing or it is not occupying any space inside your table, and whenever it is required, it's just working through the filter context that I explained to completely. Now, the third part we want to understand that whether we require a measure table separately or not. Let's see. So here, if you go to the table. Now, in the sales table, let me change the filter, clear all the filters here. In the sales table, no, I have two things. One is total order quantity column, which is taking a space inside the table, whereas another column I have the total order quantity as a measure. So it is not storing inside the table. It means that this is not part the sales table. So measure is something it can refer to any column from any table, right? And it will not store inside the table. So ideal choice would be here is that if it is not storing inside the table, let's have a dedicated area where we can keep your major things there, right? So as per industry standard, we should create a major table always. Okay, so there are three, four ways, okay, we can create your major table. The first way to create is that you go to home tab and there's the enter data. So enter data, it is just like a dynamic table. You can enter the data something and you can create your own table directly. Okay. So basically, if you go there here, so enter data. Okay. So you can say we can't put the name as measures, okay, because that is dedicated to already the measure keyword. Okay. If you try to create a table with measures, what will happen? Let's see. So it will take measures too, because there is no measures we can create any table with the name of measure. So it will create the table automatically as measures too. Okay. It will have a one combination. So this is the first way to create your any kind of table, or the we want to create any table which is part of this enter data. Okay. Or is you know that there is another feature we have is that in the DAX. So DAX is something like we can create your new measure, we can create your new column, and another one is that we can create our new table. Okay. So new table is something like in the DAX we can create our own table. Own table in the sense, suppose any table is not present, right? So that I want to create it, something like that. Okay. So another way, if I take the feature of the new table here, okay, and I want to create a measure table, blank table I can say, okay, I can put all measures or any name just you can put there, right? The first way I showed you using the enter data. Another way you can put it that put a curly braces here and put blank. Okay, so just put like this, blank, enter. So it will create a measure table over there. Okay, this is second way to do it, the measure tables, right? So this is the first way I showed you through the enter data. This is the second way. You can create a blank table. Basically, we are creating a blank table only, right, for the measures. This is the second way. And third way is that another way, just create the new table here. Okay, I'm saying underscore measures. This is my name. I can say row function. So there is a row function I have in my what you called in my DAX functionality, which will create a one row table. Okay, So here the two parameters will be there. First parameter is my column name, what you want to do. So let's say I say column 1. This is my first table, first heading of the table. Next I will say blank. Okay. So this is also will create a one row of table. Okay. Sorry, double quote. Okay. Sorry, double quote. This is. Alright. So it will create a blank table. So take any of the approach, either through the enter data or create a blank table directly this or like this. Okay. So please comment on the section. Is there any other way you know that to create the blank table? So these are the three approaches as far as I know. So if anything else like this we can create a blank table, just let me know in the put in the comments. Okay. I'm happy to share that across as well. Okay. So don't waste time here. Let's delete this mod, delete all these things, and we can take any of the approach here to create your measure. Okay. Now, okay, all filters here. So basically, what we are doing, we just go to the home data, then enter data. Okay, and I'm putting the name as called key measures. Okay, I'm putting a name called key measures. Okay, measures load. Now, so now if you see the key measures is just like the normal table only. But since because there is a column which is present inside that, but we need to convert this measure table actually into a measure table by moving one or creating one measure inside that. So we already created a measure inside my sales table, right, which is called my total order quantity. Now I want to move this table, move this column to a measure table. How will do it? Just click on this, and in the home table, right, there is a home table coming from sales. It is part of the sales table. So if you click on that and you can select your key measures now. So now what will happen, the measure will move it to the key measures. Now I can delete this column 1 or hide it, whatever may be. I just delete this from the model column 1. Then automatically this table will be automatically treated as a measure table. See, the icon got changed, it is hold inside that. Now on this table, if we click on this and can click a new measure, so everything will be kept in one place. This is the advantages of your creating of your measure, right? Understand? So the third part is understand now why the measure table is required. Now, again, we try to understand one more topic which is very important. Understand the row context and your filter context, right? Let's try to understand what exactly it is. Let's take an example of Excel and we try to understand the same, then we'll implement in the same in the Power BI. All right. So let's go to the Excel here. So here I have basically I have three rows of column here. Okay. So I have my product, then I have my quantity, then I have a price. So what I need to do, first of all, I need to convert this into table because in Power BI there is no concept of sheet. Everything will work on the table. So first of all, to work on this, I will make it as a table. I just select everything here. Okay. So just select everything. Press Control T. Okay. Control T. My table has headers. Yes, I have the headers. I'll create the table and I will give the table name as called, let's take sales, right? All right. Now, in this table, suppose I want to create a total amount. Total amount is quantity into price. That's how I want to do it. So what I'll do, I will create a column here, total amount on this table itself. So automatically, if you write it, it will be inside your table. Okay. Now what I will do, instead of referring to this cell, I can refer to the column itself. If you click on this, it will automatically refer to the column because it's inside the table itself. Okay, quantity into my price, right? So automatically it is going on. So now if you see for the each row, quantity into price, 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 everything is quantity into price. So this is an example of a row context. So each and every row is executing into quantity into price, right? Now this is there. Now if I want the sum of total amount, I want to see the sum of total amount I want to see. Okay, outside of this table, what I'll do, I'll just create here. I'll say this is sum of total amount. So what is the formula I need to put? I just need to sum equals to sum. I can say this total amount column, right? Sorry, not this one. How I can refer to the total amount column here? Yeah, we need to keep my table name, right? Then I can say refer to my total amount here, right? Just like this. So it will consider total column now. So this is called your filter context. So when I am referring to total amount, it is referring to complete column. If you see total column, it is referring. It is not referring to row by row. So it is referring to one row, one column itself, right? So if you enter it this one, it will give you the result as 509. Okay. So to achieve the 509, how many steps we did? Which steps? First we create a column here, okay, which occupied some space unnecessarily. Then finally we outside we just created a sum of total amount, which is just like a measure which is referred to complete the filter. It is referring to complete column and it give the 509. But as per the standard, is this column is really required? I don't think so required, because at the end of the day I need this, right? I need this. That's the time my requirement. So how we can achieve without creating an intermediate column? So that's where your measure will come into picture. Okay, let's see. I will give an example here how now my measure will work. The two things we need to do in the measure. First, it should go row by row, and it will create the sum, and 6 into 6 36, 2 into 8 16. So it basically it will create like this a column, then finally it will sum up that column. So somehow uh, we are saying that directly don't sum this. So it is a filter context, but it is referring to my complete column here, right? So instead of doing that, what I will do here? So let's see total amount. Okay, so I'm saying X here, total amount X. So what I will do, I have another function here. We can say sum product, which is nothing but, I will discuss this function in Power BI also. That is nothing but your sum X. Okay. So sum product. Sum product, what we will do here. Okay. So I will take my sales table here and I will take my quantity. Okay. Into sales price. Okay. Quantity into price. So it is taking some product quantity into price. So now if I enter this, right, see automatically we are getting 509 only. Instead of creating a intermediate column called total quantity. How it is working? Just see. It is saying their sales quantity into price. So what is happening is it is internally it is doing into, for each and every row it is going, okay, and it is just after that whatever the value we got it, that is getting summed up. So it means that this is a measure which is work on the row of your table. Okay, so it means that instead of referring to the column directly, the quantity into price, we are saying that go to each and every row of the quantity into price, give me the result, and finally sum up the value and give me the result here, right? So this is nothing but the filter context is transitioning to the row context. So instead of putting the filter context to any of the column, it is going, first of all, it is going to each and every row of the data and it is giving you the result there, right? So this is called your, whenever the filter context of your filter context uh, converts or filter context transition to row context, or we are forcefully saying that go to each and every row of the table and do the performance, then this is called your context evaluation. This is very important you need to understand, right? And this is an example, two examples which I give. This is called the measure. It is not storing inside the table, but for this measure we created an intermediate column and finally we get the output. Whereas for this column total amount X, we didn't create anything. By default, we are saying that by default the behavior of your measure is it will refer to a column, that is called your filter context. But in this case, we are saying that quantity into price. So we are saying that go to each and every row of the table, first do quantity into price, then finally give me the sum of that. So it is doing two things. First of all, it is doing a context evaluation, and it is doing the calculation perform on the row context, and finally it is giving me the output. So this is always be tricky. Okay, so measures always work on the filter context, but sometimes we required that filter, we need to change the behavior of the filter context to your row context, right? So that time we need to use some iterators just like this one. So we'll discuss about the iterators, but this is the case, one of the case when the filter context is transitioning to the row context and evaluate the result finally. So that process is called your context evaluation, right? Now hopefully you understand the what is row context and filter context. We'll discuss more examples, but I think hopefully it will make clear somehow that what is my row context and what is my filter context and how it works. Okay, put in your comments below if anything you want to specific, you want to if you're not able to understand any specific scenario or anything, just let me know on the comments so that I can get to know that. Okay, yeah, thanks for watching and have a nice day.